Almost pressed the complete wrong button. Hello. Welcome on back. Hope you are doing well. Thank you as always for joining me here today as we continue on from where we left off with Ariel. We're moving on to the next track here. Joanni? I'm going to go with Joanni. Unless she says the name of the song, we'll go with Joanni for now. We are nearing, getting closer to the second half of the album. And I'm really looking forward to diving into it when we get there, taking that complete second side in one listen. I'm excited to hear an epic from Kate Bush. Another one, I should say. But before that, let us continue from where we left off with this particular track. As always, and naturally we'll discuss it a little bit after. Here we go. First, I thought it was a handpan back there. That staticky guitar rising in.
All the banners stop waving and the flags stop flying and the silence comes over thousands of soldiers, thousands of soldiers.
Bump in there.
She looks so beautiful in her armor. Johnny blows a kiss to God. She wears a ring on her fingers. All the cannon are firing.
Look how the drums came in harder there.
Clashing, the horses are charging and the flags are flying and the battle is raging and the bells are ringing. Who's that girl?
I really love that little guitar back there.
Johnny wears a golden cross. She looks so beautiful in her armor.
Gotta get squonky here.
Johnny blows a kiss to God. She wears a ring on her fingers. Johnny
Fight
blow a kiss to God. She just looks beautiful in her armor. Beautiful in her armor. Elle parle à Dieu et aux anges
Oh.
dans ses prières.
Well, that's a change. I will say that hearing Miss Bush speaking French is absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. There's nothing wrong about that, and no doubt about that. Those whispery, breathy vocals at the very end is just a wonderful piece in the outro here. I really like the drum buildup and the actual scenery that Bush kind of composes here alongside of obviously the other musicians here. I really like that drum sound, which I see that there's no drums credited on this particular track, so I guess that that's going to be programmed. But regardless, I really like the sound and the spacing left for the drums and how there's a certain power that's still left in there. There's a depth in the drums and the rhythm, and that only grows as it moves into the second verse because a little bit more fills in with those drums. And I really like how that's left there. Then you have that nice undercurrents of distortion and staticky guitar that just kind of looms underneath everything. It comes up near the end of the track a little bit more, but it just kind of sits there like a field of static. And the guitar can have Dan McIntosh. And I like how that acts as almost this edgy but melodic bass for Kate to work off of. And, obviously there's melody. Besides that, you have the bass here from Del Palmer that comes in later on. But that just builds a really cool aesthetic for Kate to kind of work her magic on top of everything. And it comes across really cool and unique. I feel like this track has a little bit more of that experimental, adventurous side on the album as opposed to some of the other tracks that we've heard. Nice as they all are, I think that this one just has a little bit more of a thematic sense of adventure, but still keeping things very stated and stately and straightforward in a particular way. This isn't as experimental as, obviously some other albums and other music, but I still think that it comes across in a mature experimental way, not having to throw in a bunch of other. Well, I guess that does happen, doesn't it? Because the outro, I'll tell you, I don't like the outro. I don't like when she, what I can only assume is her kind of, it came so out of nowhere, and I don't care for that particular sound. I have to be honest and say I did not like that. And if I tell you, that felt like a fly in my jello, because I'm riding high with the music. I think that this is sensational. It's romantic. It's mysterious. It's a beautiful mood. And of course, Dan comes out a little bit more here. But then this change. I don't like that. And I will, because I'm honest, I will say it's annoying. Full stop. All the banners stop waving and the flags stop flying and the silence comes over. Thousands of soldiers, thousands of soldiers. Who is that girl? Do I know her face? Who is that girl? Joanni. Joanni wears a golden cross and she looks so beautiful in her armor. Joanni blows a kiss to God and she never wears a ring on her finger. So definitely going to be about Joan of Arc. All the cannon are firing and the swords are clashing. The horses are charging. The flags are flying. The battle is raging and the bells are ringing. Who is that girl? Repeats the verse here. And here we have some French, of course, which I'm not going to try and speak. However, we can pull up Google and do a little bit of French to English translation, and we can get the meaning here. Here we go. She speaks to God and the angels in her prayers. Come, St. Catherine. Come, St. Margaret. She needs both of you. The voices of fire. Sing with my little sister, the voices, the voices, the voices. Of course, Joan of Arc was burned at the stake. So it's interesting the perspective then in singing, in the singing. So let me put you back here actually. So this is how I see it. This part, when all of the banners are stop waving, the silence comes over the soldiers. There's a pausing. There's a stop in the movement of everything. Why does all this happen? Why does the silence come over everybody? Perhaps there's almost this moment of silence for the death of Joan of Arc there. Or maybe not even the death, maybe the arrival. She's wearing a golden cross, she's in her armor. Maybe it's for the arrival. Maybe this is the inspiration before the battle then, because obviously the battle takes place right here. And there's the questioning, who is that? Who's that girl up there? And you can imagine the gossip in the battlefield before the fight, that's Joan of Arc. And I can see that, I would imagine most of the soldiers probably know her, but there may be, a late invite that didn't know who was there. And then of course we have the ending, almost acting as a prayer here. Come St. Catherine, come St. Margaret. She needs both of you. She needs both of you to get her through this final trial in her life there. I think that's a great track. I really enjoy most of it. I just don't care for the ending, specifically the grunting kind of sound. Everything else in the ending is cool, but I just didn't care for that particular part. Let me know what you all thought. Of course, down below. I appreciate you being here and stopping on in. If it's your first time, staying, hopefully a little bit. If it's not, and well, even if it's your first time, I'd like you to stay. Just stick around. Why not? Just pull up a chair, stick around, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.